forget. But these are, I say it all the time, these are my favorite out of the month. I love the third Wednesday because it really has just been to me at least, it's been a connective community. It's been a place where hopefully you guys as guests, some of you are coming to the panel for the first time, some of you are returning. And as far as us providers that get to hop on, you guys, it's a treat for us, actually. It's something that helps us to grow. And usually, I mean, I'm speaking for the whole group. We got Tyler tonight. We got Sierra. We got Joelle. We got Monica. We got Lori. Did I miss anybody? We got a super five on tonight. So I'm super pumped about it. We usually get some mind-blowing pieces ourselves, and I'm going to say thank you in advance. So I want to open up. This is a time where you guys can come with anything. Be super vulnerable. It is a family setting here. Sometimes family is triggering, but let's do like it's a connecting piece for us to be here. We are a close community. We love each other and we want to support each other. So, if you have questions, concerns, if you're struggling, if you want some help with something in particular, now is the time to do it. We as providers are here to give any thoughts, and you guys are here to give thoughts to each other. Let's start with gratitude. Anybody have a victory they want to talk about? We have some really popular group chats in the WhatsApps lately. So, what's a victory?
I think I've stuck to, or my victory is sticking to the gluten-free diet. So
I
it has
love it.
been work. I don't know how easy it'll be going back to work cooking like that, but yeah.
So you've been cooking gluten free.
Cooking gluten-free and still have not eaten out since I've gotten home. So everything, every single thing has been made from scratch. So
That is bomb, girl. That is amazing.
a lot of food prepping. So
Yeah. How are you feeling?
um good. Yeah.
That was a delay. I'm really nervous about that.
Yeah. I think any of the moms on the call can probably Haley, I see you wrestling your two right now. It's
It's so joyful.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm. So it's
that's
a
fair.
lot when
It's
you're
hard.
prepping, when you're doing all that prep and you've got kids, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
So maybe we lean into as we get back to work and things, there might be some other pieces that we need to start to look at,
yeah.
right? And how we can use more of, for me, it became an assemblage piece rather than having to prep all the time. So for me,
Hmm.
it's a matter of in my fridge, I always had um, certain put together components that I could do and not have to cook, meaning like a protein piece, uh, green piece, wraps, and rice. And you can make like three or four different meals just having those things stocked in your fridge. So
Yeah,
it became like an assembly piece rather than having to do the work every single time. But you're doing awesome, Meg. Good job.
yeah.
So
And like fighting the cravings, coming home to a candy bowl that didn't get touched on Halloween, and it's like just still sitting there taunting me. Um,
throw it
and you
out.
can't get rid of all the bad stuff out of the house because of the kids. So
Right. They gotta have.
like tonight I made pasta with it was the brown rice and quinoa pasta. And my husband was like, "This is way too sweet. I can't do this. It needs to be saltier." So it's
Mm,
adjusting the recipes and learning what works and what doesn't.
everybody. Yeah. So transition phase, which is what all of you guys are in. Thanks for starting the ball here, Meg. Anybody
Yeah.
else? Victories, gratitude. Let's give it. Who's got it?
I'm still doing yoga class. I'm sticking with that.
Tad, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you bendy now?
Oh, Tad, you're
Uh,
so flexible.
I'm so flexible now. Yeah, no, I just tell myself, like Monica taught me, oh, I'm so flexible. And now I don't know. I still do. Up to twice a week on yoga. So and it kind of reminds me of Tyler's, encouraging words about getting out of my shell and putting myself into experiences where I wouldn't normally uh, put myself, at least willingly, at least paying someone to put myself into that position, but I'm doing that. So, yeah.
I love it, Tad. Well done. How long have you been sticking with it now?
Gosh, I think I am like regularly, probably I'm over 60 days, I think now. So I think I started
Heading towards the end of it,
August.
folks.
So yeah, started in August, and I actually have grown to look forward to it, even though I'm so flexible now.
Okay,
Yeah.
Monica's giving you chance.
Waiting. What were you gonna
Yeah.
say?
And I have such great balance. Yeah, I have such great balance now.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid. I'm so afraid. Oh, I love it. That is amazing. What a cool, cool gratitude. Good victory, Tad. Anybody else? Gratitude, victory.
I finished my bridge tattoo.
You did? Let's see it. Can we see it? Where is it? Wait. Oh, nice. Let's see. Tell us about it. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
So I got it's me and then a guy in a robe named Jesus.
Mhm.
And we're walking on a bridge towards like valleys and mountains. In the very, very back, there's a cross.
Yeah.
And then it's like I just got it, so I'm still wearing that weird wrap thingy. But and then in the clouds it says seek me.
Oh, wow.
And so the guy like hand drew it, and 20 hours, most painful thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh,
A lot of time having a needle poking in your arm.
But totally worth it. Like it's so cool to see it in the morning. It's like such a good reminder. And then this is bad, but I'm getting another one. And Sierra knows what it is because she's seen my phone background. But so I'll get another one. But
Hey,
so
we're excited to
I
see it.
might have started an addiction, but so yeah.
Super cool, brother. I love it. How cool. What a good connection though. If it helps uplift you, go for it, man. That's awesome. I love it. Anybody else? Molly, you
I'll
just
hop.
keep off mute. What do you got, baby?
Yeah. So there's no TMI here. Y'all know I talk about my period anyway. So we've now gone through
Everyone knows it's Molly's
this
thing.
is
It's her
I'm not
thing.
broken. This is a biological event, but for me it has been um an incredibly challenging monthly event for years, including throwing up and bringing my entire life to a halt every month. And it created a lot of anxiety, of course. Um, and so I didn't know how much I was going to die or not. And so since the bridge, I've had now 2 cycles, and they've, kid you not, been the best of my life. And it's
Oh,
like
that is
a major quality of life improvement. And I'm just so grateful to, it's not like they are the best, but also I don't want to die. Like literally, I don't want to die, which is incredible. And I still take a rest day. It's still uncomfortable, but it's just like miles better. And I do credit that a lot to the therapy was huge, the somatic breath work was huge, the getting moving again, the just like bringing up of all the stuff that I didn't realize I had been repressing. And uh, it's no mystery that our body holds on to things. And so as I've been processing it, I feel like my body has less to process each month, which is great. And now that I have other challenges coming up, I'm trying my best to just let the storm roll through and not try to control or suppress it. So, yeah, cheers to many more. Oh, and I really appreciated Joelle's insight too, in that, the vomiting that I have done in the past has been kind of the purging of old beliefs and systems that no longer work for me. And it's all part of the process of, you know, shedding, which is what we need to do. So, anyway, I'm just really grateful for that. It's changed a lot for me, and I have a lot less anxiety around it. And I also know that if it were to be hard again in the future, I have tools to handle it. And Tyler has been super helpful with that too. So, yeah, it's going to be okay regardless.
Molly, we love you, babe. What a beautiful thing. We love hearing it. You're making us all the providers cry. It's celebratory for sure. It's so wonderful to hear. And
It's been huge.
yeah. Guess who's done most of the work? That would be YOU, woman.
Brad. Oh, me.
Let him believe he did something.
Just kidding.
I love it.
Thank you.
Beautiful
I appreciate it.
gratitude. Wonderful victory. Anybody else got a gratitude or victory?
I've got very small
Let's do it.
victories.
Small is perfect, Brenda. Let's hear
Um,
it, baby.
and nothing specific. I came home with this mindset that I was going to, dive in and start this new healthy routine and, you know, figure things out. And then I came home and didn't have time for any of that. And like everything was just bombarding me like reality. And I have three adult kids and everyone needs help with something. They need help signing up for their clinical rotations and figuring out their new insurance. And like every day it was something. And it wasn't until Sunday when I was able to like breathe. And now, so I'm at my other house now. My kids are all at one house and I'm at my other house. And I got here and I literally just had a complete breakdown. My husband's like, oh, I wish I knew what I could say or do. Like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm,
Purging. You're purging.
yeah. I mean, because I literally like, I just had to have it all together because you know what? When we go to someplace like the bridge, it's like we're kind of hardest on ourselves and like, oh, we feel like we're going home to all these expectations and like we need to be fixed. And, my reality was that I have adult kids and I know at least one of them verbalized to me in a letter that she was really hoping going to the bridge was going to be a permanent fix for me. So, on top of my own expectations, it was like, I know that's hers. And so, um, either way, I'm not permanently fixed. Don't think I'll ever be. I'll always, have to kind of do things to keep myself well. But since I've been here for the last since Sunday, I've been able to do at least something every day. Whether I went and visited the horses the other day for a couple hours. I go in the hot tub. I'm doing little things instead of worrying about having to have a routine and I can't go to the horses because I can't go every day, or I can't do this because I can't schedule it every day. So just trying to be okay with the instability, which is very unstable. But yeah. So that's me.
Beautiful. Talking
Yeah.
about, I love it. I mean, talk about getting comfortable with the discomfort, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
finding a way to make those structure pieces a part of your week, regardless of what it looks like.
Yeah. Yes.
Love
And I
it.
have been doing like gratitudes and reading and that stuff when I have time. So to me, it's like, okay, it's a little win today, you know.
Huge win. We're
Yes.
so glad you're here, Renda.
Thank
So
you.
glad you're here. Anybody else? Any gratitude or victories? I have some questions I'm going to start popping up, but I want to give everyone a chance. If you've got something you want to celebrate or that you're just kind of feeling super fuzzy over, it helps us feel fuzzy when you feel fuzzy. You got anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, real quick. Could not relate more than sorry, the name of the last girl that just went.
Brenda.
Sorry, say it again.
Brenda.
Brenda, yeah, like I think I brought that up a couple weeks ago of people's expectations when you get out, and they think you're going to be like miraculously cured and this perfect human being, and I realized like that was probably more me
Hmm.
feeling like that was their expectations and the way they were looking at me. But it is a little weird, like, because now everybody's like super involved in my overall, like, hey, have you done therapy? Have you met with the bridge? Like, and it's kind of like, what shit, you guys aren't perfect either, but but yeah, and then like
Yeah.
the bubble. Like I just left the hospital. My dad's been in there. He got rushed with like septic and dealing with infections, and I was like, shit, I'm not going to join this Zoom meeting. There's no way I can do it. And, but then I was like, yeah, life is just hard. And I was like beating myself up earlier today about like not being in the best frame of mind to like help them in every way. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm here. I brought him McDonald's. I was like, before the bridge, I was in the hospital myself. I don't think I would have been able to be there for him. So even though the situation sucks, like I'm just glad that the bridge helped me be in a place in my life where I can sit next to my dad in the hospital room and be a resource. But it does still suck to like that it's hard to help other people when you're still just trying to figure your own shit out. So I think it's important to protect yourself and give yourself like that self-care time that like Joelle talks about. But it's definitely a balancing act because real life unfortunately does happen and it's hard. But anyways, yeah, but I'm just grateful that at least I can be a resource instead of a burden like I had been prior to the bridge.
Mm. Beautiful, Keith. Thank you so much. Does anyone else feel the same way that Keith and Renda are talking about? Can anyone else relate? Okay, I love it. Let's look at, so if we dive into, I mean, how could we label this, providers? You can chime in if I am off here, but what new, I mean, let's call it like self-care boundaries. Joelle did an amazing presentation a couple weeks ago on self-care and how we can actually kind of accommodate that. But let's level it with learning how to create the new boundaries for expectations, right? What does that look like? What does it feel like? Are we running on to different narratives that we are trying to work on with that? Any thoughts?
I've just used like, I don't know, Tyler and Sierra say this a lot, where they're just like, well, of course. And like, I've said that so much since I've gotten home because my family, like, I don't think a single one of my family members has texted or called me since I got home and asked me how I'm doing.
Mm.
And like, all of my friends have. And so that's been like a little bit hard for me because it kind of like solidified Tyler, so he's still friends here. Because it kind of solidified like what I already felt from my family before I left. And so like it was a little bit hard for me for a minute, but then I had like a really good session with Dave a few days ago. And yeah, I just kind of got to the point and like so for the last probably like 4 or 5 days, I've just kind of been like, yeah, well, of course, like, why am I surprised? Like, it's okay that like I'm here and they're a little bit there, and like I don't have to bridge that gap. Like, that's not my responsibility. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's been like really liberating for me.
Beautiful words there. I like the liberation piece. Anybody want to speak to that? I really like where you're going with that, Haley. Just that liberating piece. There's a gap there. A lot of us can fill that in with feelings of resentment, frustration, or anger. Are we finding ways to let go of that? Sierra, Ty, do you guys have anything you can fill in there? Who's going to hit mute first?
I do, and part of it's in like I feel some relation to that with recent experiences, like having a baby. We kind of expected there to be like a little bit more involvement from family members, and it wasn't there on both sides, like my side, my wife's side. And there's like the disappointment for it. But then there's like we have our nuclear family and we're trying to create like that environment and have as much love there as we can. And when other people like don't participate in our lives, it's like it's pretty painful because we want them to have like relationships with our kids. Um, and more than saying like any sort of advice, I'm just feeling what you're feeling right now because we've had to just get to the point and be like, okay, my mom doesn't seem to want much here, and she seems to take the quickest avenue away or to like satisfy some sort of like responsibility with it, but then she's gone. And it's painful. And I think that's probably just kind of like part of life and growth. And so we're trying to find like the connections that are meaningful and that like really do build us up. And I grew up with like kind of a sense of responsibility that that should be like family and that's always going to be my family. And it hasn't always been. And some parts of my family, it is. But then there are other connections that we found just like are way more authentic and supportive for us. So we focus on those and put energy into those. And then the others, like, it's still painful and we're okay with feeling the pain of it. Like, we're not trying to hide from the pain of it and like try and explain it away, like, no, it's fine or something like that. Like, yeah, this hurts and that's okay. And let's choose where we want to focus our energy. And I'm sure lots of other people have lots of better things to say about that, but I get your pain. I have felt parts of that too.
Mm. Thank you for relating, Ty. I love that.
I love,
Anybody else? Go,
oh
go.
yeah, sorry. I
Okay.
love this like emotional boundary, right? Like, mm, when we're saying like the of course, yeah, like it makes sense that I feel this way, right? It is really hard that people aren't meeting my expectations. It is really hard. Like I feel like they have all these expectations of me. Yeah, of course I'm feeling this. Um, but then this emotional boundary, right? Like we can validate ourselves and our emotions, but now what do I want to do? What do I want to do because of this? Okay, I'm feeling it. Yeah. And like Tyler's saying, all right, now I want to invest in the people that are investing in me and I want to engage in these relationships. And I can still have a relationship with the people that aren't showing up as much. But when we are willing to accept that relationship for what it is, then we don't have this like fight within ourselves. We're not trying to change everything. It doesn't take so much energy, right? It's like that's how it is. And sure, like that can be a bummer, but we don't have to spend so much energy fighting it. And then that's an emotional boundary for us. Does that make sense?
And that's exactly how I've been feeling, is just kind of like, sorry, my son found me in my closet and now he's playing with my crystals.
Love that you're
Um,
hiding.
but yeah, I'll tell you one sec, okay? But that's exactly how I've been feeling, is just like, I don't know, it just like isn't this like heavy, like tumultuous feeling like I would have felt before. Like I'm not like sitting here spiraling about it. It's like acceptance of like where other people are and where I'm at. And then just kind of like, okay, now move towards, yeah, I don't know, just I guess keep moving forward. Okay.
I love that, Haley. Joelle, did you have a thought?
No.
Anybody else? Monica, Lori, do we have any thoughts to add to this? I like this topic, and even if it's oh, Les, go ahead, Leslie. You got your hand raised, girlfriend.
Hey, sorry, I was looking for the reaction, but yeah, so all of these conversations, I'm really grateful for that as well. But I remember I used to crash out for any little thing. Like I would crash out like if there was any little inconvenience that happened, and I would just let it ruin like my evening or, whatever. And I'm reading a book and it's called The Let Them Theory. And I'm not sure if anyone else has read that book,
Was
but
gonna mention it, Leslie. I was gonna mention it, so I'm glad that you are. So
okay. Yeah, so right now I'm in the book where it's like I'm in the part where, obviously like all of these things that was an inconvenience that would upset me, I didn't realize how much I was affected by other people and their actions. So to the second part of the let them, it's let me and how I'm going to respond to that. So like I'll find myself like having these, relationships I thought I had that the energy wasn't reciprocated. And it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do about it? Are you going to stick around, be a pushover, or are you going to stand up for yourself and set your own emotional boundaries? So I'm at that point right now where it's like, okay, well, maybe you don't have friends and you can start new relationships, and it's about going first and reaching out first. And then it's like, okay, it's okay if they don't answer or anything, but it's like, what are you going to do about it? And then slowly and surely you'll start creating your own community, even if it's not family, unfortunately. And that sucks so much to say because it's like I guess for me, I was raised with like this like thing of like, oh, family is everything, this and that, but it's like, when are you going to set your own boundaries around your family to be able to say, no, I'm not okay with this, like I need to not, keep up that relationship or whatever. But yeah, I'm in that part of the book where it's like, just building your own community. And it's something because it's like I used to crash out like every day for no reason, and now it's like I'll catch myself, which is something I'm grateful for, that I'll like be like, wait, I'm overthinking this, like it's not that big of a deal, like just take a couple of breaths and it'll all work out in the end. So
Beautiful, Leslie. Anything you want to add, Monica?
I just love that she brought that up because that's what I was going to bring up is if you haven't read The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, it is a really good one. It was really transformative in my life earlier this year. Um, and also I might be going off of it. So Leslie mentioned about how we've got these expectations with family. And I want to maybe even ask a question like, how is everybody feeling moving forward towards the holidays when you feel like you have to have this obligatory time with family? They may not be your support system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, like I might be.
No, I need help on this. I would love some suggestions because my family
Yeah.
is not where I am my best self, and it's not super supportive on the priorities that I have and the boundaries I want to hold, to the point where I'm like, do I even want to go spend the money to fly to be with family when this is not, you know, the people, they're also the source of my original trauma. So I'm like, well, is this really where I want to go?
And so part
So
of me, I just want to throw out there this what I'm
yeah.
doing because of the transition my life is. Just a big pivot in my life right now. Um, Last year, Thanksgiving was just downright terrible for me. And so I am not actually celebrating Thanksgiving. I'm taking myself out of the country.
Hell
And
yeah.
and that way all expectations are whatever I make them. Nobody's expecting me to do anything. So I'm just throwing out there, what are your expectations? What do you want to get out of it? And maybe um find and those boundaries with family. Maybe you say, I am like last year, I said, I'm making 2 pies. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Everybody else, you can pick whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be a Thanksgiving meal item. Traditions are awesome. They're beautiful as long as they work, but they don't have to be that way anymore. You can change and do, we're always changing. That's the only thing that's constant is change. Anyway, I'll let someone else as I keep
Love it. I
going.
love it. This is a great extension to our boundary question. And we've had some good, I like what Sierra put in the chat, to kind of give kind of initiation of narrative there. When she was responding to Leslie, what am I going to do about it? A boundary is not a rule for someone else to follow. It's a promise to yourself. What am I going to do if blank happens? Right. So same here. I love where Monica's taking it with that. Like, okay, we're coming upon a time of year where there might be those familial expectations. And does family exist in blood right now and the right connections for you at this point in time? Or is family looking different this year? Does those traditions look different? Go ahead, Sierra.
I love that at this point in time, right? Because as we're talking about boundaries, like boundaries is what helps, they are what help keep us safe and what help our relationships to be healthy. So sometimes we're going to have firmer boundaries with certain people than other people, right? Not even sometimes, that's just how it is. Um, so the beautiful thing about boundaries is that eventually, I mean, depending on, but most of the time we are going to be able to engage with that family dynamic. If we start feeling a certain way, if some conversation goes up, we know what we are going to do about it, right? Oh, I'm going to say, like, oh, I got to take a little break real quick. Oh, like, oh, I just got something important I have to do. We know that we have ways to cope. And when we know that, when we have that emotional boundary, then it feels a lot safer to be in those situations. It is okay to avoid things sometimes. But if we continuously avoid, then we're not giving ourselves opportunity to grow and actually like become flexible in the way that we're dealing with things.
Beautiful. I love it. Lori, did you
Can
have a
I
thought?
say something? Yeah.
My
I got to remember what I was going to say, but all this talk about family and boundaries, it's like family doesn't have to be blood, first of all. Family can be other people outside of that, but getting really clear on what your belief is and what your truth is. If you don't know what your beliefs are, if your beliefs are just something like, oh, well, we have to spend the holidays with family because that's just what's been taught forever. It doesn't matter what the long-term belief has been. If you don't know what your belief is, and that can change from time to time based on what's safe for you, you've got to really come into a place of what feels like truth in here, what's resonating in here. And then that's your belief, and then that's going from there. And it's okay to say no. If something's not feeling safe, it doesn't matter if it's physical safety, if it's emotional safety, and you just don't feel safe, you're in that healing place. You're trying to really regulate and integrate these things that you've learned so that they become really solid in here. So you're creating your own truth belief system in here and going from there. So saying no is really, really important. It doesn't matter if it's family, it doesn't matter if it's for the holiday, and it's a no, and that's it. There doesn't have to be an explanation after that. And that's where the real truth and the boundary comes from. No, it's not going to work this holiday, and that's it. Like, no, I'm not going to fly there. I'm not going to spend the money to fly there. There doesn't need to be an explanation. That's also a belief that we have been given and fed somewhere along the line. We have to say whatever, yes or no, and then we have to have a reason or we have to have an excuse of just no or just yes, or that doesn't work for me right now. And that's it. So it all just becomes a practice of figuring out what your truth teller is in here and then going from there. So I've had to practice it tons with my family, and I'm super glad they live on the other side of the country because it makes it easier. But still, even still, when I go visit my family, sometimes my mom is real hard sometimes, and it's just no, that's it. And getting into the explanation turns into something else. It can get heated, it can turn into an argument, and then you don't want that either. So it's just creating your own safe boundaries.
Ah, beautiful. I love it. Any other thoughts? Have we even thought about what those beliefs are at this point in time? I love the thought of kind of writing these things down. Like, what are my beliefs? Where am I at with this right now? Can we make a plan, so to speak, right? Where it's like, oh, if it's a yes to this, but there's this component that could cause some sort of an issue, what am I going to do if, right? Can we start to dive into this? Any other thoughts?
I think for me, what's really hard is like I'm kind of on the opposite. Like when I came back like from the bridge, I haven't heard from any of my friends. Like I deleted my social media and I haven't had a single friend reach out. None of them, and what's weird is my younger brother's in the same friend group and he still hangs out with them.
Mm,
And so it's just this weird dynamic of like I want to hang out with them and I want to be a part of it. And so it's almost like the emotional like wanting to be a part of it. Like I see and I hear all the things that they're doing and it's like, damn, I wish I was there. Or like, wow, thanks for the invite. And but then at the same time it's like, well, if they're not inviting me, then why would I want to kind of be in there? And so that for me is what's like really hard. Like, Thanksgiving, my friends and I used to always do a Friendsgiving and like I haven't heard anything. And
mm,
so while I'm okay with that, it's also like, oh, that kind of sucks. Like that was really fun. And so for me, it's just the struggle of like wanting to be involved or wanting to have that relationship and it not being reciprocated is definitely like super tough for me. So I don't know if anybody else like that.
The only thing I can relate to, Gavin, was when I went to rehab like 12 years ago, not the bridge, but I remember being there and, like I was gone for a month and they were telling me that I'll probably have to restart my friend group and everything. And I was like, no, my buddies are like my homies for life. Like we're good. And then I got out and I remember I got a call from one of my buddies and he's like, dude, come over. I got a bunch of coke and like girls are here. And I was like, bro, I just got out of rehab. He's like, you're gonna be about as fun as cancer. And it was like I was like, oh shit, the people in rehab were right that maybe the friends I had before, I wasn't even in a good mental spot to choose the right friends, or they weren't friends with me for the right reason. So I had to start from scratch. I moved to San Diego and I had to rebuild my friends and my, social circle. And it hurts, like no doubt about it, when people turn their back on you. But after you have a little more time, like a year or so, you'll look back and be like, you know what? Those friends, if they weren't with me and didn't have my back, like support me through tough times, then they probably weren't the right people that I deserve to be surrounded by. So that's the only advice I'd give you. But I know what it feels like and it stings. And some of them will come around. They might not know exactly like how to. They don't want to like trigger you, or they might have their own guilt for things they've done that have maybe brought you to not a great place in your life or whatever. So, but I just sympathize with you, and I've been through it, and you'll rebuild that group, and you might find that the people you surround yourself with, in the next year will blow those other people away, and you'll be like, what the fuck was I thinking even hanging with those people previously?
Awesome.
Yeah, I think what's hard is like I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I'm like very anti-social. Like for those of you that don't know, I was like in a really bad car accident, and so like I don't want to go out and socialize. So you're absolutely right. Like I have to make new friends, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Overwhelming.
that is so much work.
It's so
So
true. Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. I feel you. Yeah. But
I
maybe you were just settling for like a friend group that you knew wasn't really challenging. You were bringing out your best because you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
yeah, like that's what's tough is like I thought, they were good friends. Like I've been in some of their weddings and like, and it's just yeah, it's one of those like things that you have to be okay with, but it definitely like in the moment like sucks a lot. And so yeah.
It's part of the evolution. You're evolving and changing, and it's who do you want to evolve and change with and be in that dance with? And if you're not taking the same dance steps anymore and someone's stepping on your toes, why do you want to keep dancing with them? I mean, just coming into again here, it's what is actually hurting. What's hurting about the loss of that relationship? What's hurting about what somebody said to me here? What's causing that trigger reaction in here? And when I get in here and I do that, I can see something that has nothing to do with any of that. And then it helps in my evolution. And yeah, it still hurts when people stop talking to you or they don't show up when you feel like you need. You also deepen the relationship with yourself and you get that deeper, stronger foundation here. And you become bionic. You can tackle anything from that point. Just coming in here. What's the trigger? What's the pain? Let's do this. Let's go. Let's take a look.
Beautiful. I love that. Monica, go ahead, hun.
And on a different perspective, if they still were really good friends, I mean, we leave friends because maybe they're not a good influence. And that seems to be the common topic or thought that we're having. And that is some people's experiences. However, maybe they're still good friends, but maybe they don't know how to respond. And so maybe they are thinking of, well, Gavin left and we don't know how to respond and talk to him. We want to be there for him. Maybe they're waiting for you to take the initiative and reach out.
That's what I was thinking, Monica, was needing to reach out because sometimes you just,
Yeah.
sometimes it goes both ways.
It does. You can pick up the phone and say, hey, I hear you guys are doing something tonight. Can I join you? Or maybe you just take one friend and say, hey, do you want to go shoot hoops or whatever it is that you guys like to do, and see if that opens the door. And if they don't respond and say yeah, then maybe that tells you, okay, that's where you need to say, okay, I do need a shift and make a new circle of friends, which yes, it is hard.
I think it's especially hard for like guys because we still live in a world where like guys that are doing something to go get help for mental, or you know what I mean, like there's other guys that are uncomfortable with that for some reason. So if that makes sense, like
They
you
don't
know
know
what I mean, it's like
yeah.
they don't know how to like how it's not as common or it's frowned upon, and it's so backwards and weird. But I do think that adds an extra element of people like distancing themselves because you're right, they might not know how to approach the subject or talk about it because as guys we don't really, I didn't get taught how to speak to someone about mental health or drugs or whatever. So it's kind of like, oh shit, well I don't know how to talk about it, so I'm just going to avoid it, and that could be the case.
Yeah. Trauma in general, it's hard to embrace too.
Yeah, yeah.
Support. Joel, sorry, honey, you were saying something?
Me? No.
Someone
I
say
I'll say something.
something.
Quick add on to I think when you come out of the bridge or any experience like that where it could be people could look at it as life changing and those connections have been changed to some degree. I think it's important to remember all the other connections that you experience through the day, whether it's the mailman, the Amazon driver, the person making your coffee. Those are all connections that you're making throughout the course of your day. And so even though you don't maybe have all the connections that you used to have or that you depended on, you're still making connections and they're all valuable. And so one thing I do is before I go to sleep, I make a mental go through my day and think about every person that I connected with on any level through the day. And then you still feel like you're part of the human race. You still are even if you're antisocial, every email, every phone call, every text, everything, those are all just little connections that you're making and
I
have.
know. Tad, that's beautiful.
That is
Oh,
so
thanks.
so true. It's like I like just moved to an apartment and I basically kind of freaked out. I moved and don't know anyone, and I just left the bridge. I haven't been working, and I'm like, I was feeling super isolated, and now I'm just like thankful when I run into the maintenance guy or just have a quick conversation at the little gym place in the morning, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, holy shit, like that literally that person doesn't know it, but they helped me get through the day. Like,
Yeah.
but you have to Tanisha got me to finally start praying and I'll thank God for it but I think it sounds so simple, Tad, but like it's freaking powerful. I'm like the interaction when I walk by someone and they're walking their dog and we say hi, I'm like, that shit got me through today.
Yeah. All those little connections. You even, it's just important that you feel connected. Even like this phone call, I mean, this Zoom call,
100%.
you're connected. I mean, so you're not alone. You're not by yourself. You are connected. We all are.
Gosh, Tad, winner, chicken dinner tonight, man.
Oh, hey, thanks, Tanisha. Yeah.
Fuzzies all
All right.
over. I love it. So this is so great. I'm almost gonna cry, which is not surprising, but this is
Well,
this is
the
awesome.
other thing I'd add is like what I learned at the bridge is connecting to nature. You can connect to nature. You can connect, you know, it doesn't even have to be a person. Taking a walk in the park, you can connect. So,
Mm. Megan posted something here in the chat. Thanks for doing that, Meg. That's cool. Associated Press put out an article this week about avoiding the hesitation to reach out to old friends. Good read if you're interested. She gave the link there. Gav, that might be something helpful for you. Anyone else? That's super cool. What a good resource. Lots of really good thoughts in here. Megan, I also loved your idea on just doing something different for the holidays. And most of you read that. If you're feeling lonely or not wanting to do family holidays, volunteer, simply do something that you're thankful for. She's skipping a lot of the family functions and going to deliver cookies, first responders. So cool. And it all comes down to what Tad just taught us, right? The connections. Like these are all just ways of making connections. Like how are we doing that? And how are we noticing what connections we have made in that day? Like I tell my husband, it's so weird to say that, right? All the time, like if I go through a drive-through to get something, These
What?
people have no idea how powerful they are in my day because I could
5:30.
be having a bad day. And if I go through a drive-through at like Chick-fil-A and the person is super nice to me and gives me a compliment or is kind, oh my gosh. They have no idea how much that just shifted my energy, right? So are we taking notes of these kinds of things that are going on? Any other thoughts, you guys? This is super great.
I have a
Okay.
thought, but it's mostly that I want Sierra to share her thought that she posted on her Instagram about gratitude practice.
Mm.
Is that okay, Sierra? Do it.
Do it.
I couldn't find my mouse, like where I couldn't unmute. That's funny. Yeah, just barely, like a few hours ago. So we're talking about.
I think so. I don't get on Instagram that often, so
Oh yeah.
Can't remember.
you were
Yes.
walking outside.
Okay, yeah. Um, so just like changing our neural pathways, being grateful is one of the best ways to change our neural pathways, but it's even more powerful if we add what we are contributing to the things that we are grateful for. So I just talked about like I'm grateful for the weather and how beautiful it is outside, and I'm grateful for the effort that I put in to take the time to be outside and to go for a walk and to enjoy it. Or like if we're grateful for a relationship, sure, I can be grateful for that person, but I'm grateful for the effort that I put into like caring for them and to like appreciating them or whatever. Like recognize what you are doing to
Mm.
to like push along to help those things that you're grateful for.
So good.
And it really does. Like there's so much scientific evidence to show it helps change our neural pathways. So validate and then do that.
I love it because like we're talking about all of these relationships that are complex, like friendships and family relationships, especially around the holidays. And it's Thanksgiving, and we're going to be talking about gratitude. But sometimes, like, when we get so tied up in these things that our value is tied to how other people see us, and that's why it hurts so much, is because we feel like part of my self-worth is dependent on how somebody else perceives me, then my self-worth will fluctuate a lot depending on these interactions. And I like this idea of like gratitude while pulling yourself into it, because I think that heals your relationship with yourself, and it creates like this relationship of love where now it doesn't matter, like this idea that you guys are talking about, like let them, it doesn't matter because my worth isn't changing based on their perception of me or how they invite me or don't invite me or how they treat me. I've built this safety within myself, and this is something like I've been working on for years, and it's made a big difference. But I find that like I will tell myself stuff like that, but I really like it the way that Sierra framed it, as doing it as part of your gratitude practice. And I haven't read the research on it. I've read lots of research on like other gratitude practices, but I have seen that when people thank you for something, is this what you're talking about, Sierra? When somebody expresses gratitude to you, often it changes you. Or if you witness somebody else thanking somebody else, like you're a third party and you witness it over here, that has like really cool power to create a neuroplastic environment. Anyway, there are a lot of different studies, differently structured studies on gratitude, but I find that this way, I think, uh, helps you change your relationship with yourself. And I
I,
think it makes a lot of those like complexities of other relationships not feel as sharp. Like it softens a lot of the pain of those things when your relationship with yourself is more secure.
but by the way, that would be a great topic is the whole like relationship with yourself. Like all you guys kind of taught me like you got to love yourself, and I know Joelle mentioned it and Tanisha or whatever, and you have, but like because I feel like this huge void, and I'm like what's this emptiness, and like why does it need to be fulfilled by other people? But like I I don't know really the practice of what does that mean. Like like I grew up as a captain of lacrosse, captain of football, like a lot of friends, and I don't think I don't know sometimes where to start. And I had a interesting childhood, but it's like when people tell you that, like, oh, you gotta love yourself, and then like you'll be good, you won't care what other people think. But like when you're starting from like a zero baseline, you're just like, it's kind of like I know the concept of it, but I don't know the practical little things I need to do each day to build it. So I don't know. I'd open to advice on a future session is, you just are comfortable with this new concept of loving yourself and being okay with just the way you feel, not other people towards you. But like, where do you start if you never even started before,
Start small. I would say
Okay.
start small because I mean, even today I was like, oh, I don't like how I look today, you know? And here I am talking about all this stuff, and it's because I'm changing. There's things changing in my life. So I'm trying to find out that part of me that I love. So
Okay.
just start small and do it every day, do it repetitive.
Okay.
Find
I'll,
something.
What does that
okay.
look like, Joelle? Can you give any suggestions?
I just said that. Like start small. Like actually, so like I was looking up being was it confident with neuroplasticity, and they just said you just do repetitive. Today I am confident, just
Oh,
small little
okay.
things. You don't do 10 things that you want to do, you do one thing. So write down what you want.
Ooh,
I,
how does
I
that
have
connect to the belief thing that Lori brought up? I love that. Go,
I have a
Ty.
comment to build on that. And I know I'm not like the expert on this in this group. There are a lot of cool people in this group, but um I found a couple things, and one is like you can't lie to yourself. And I would find that if I did say something, like I've read books, I read one How to Do the Work, Nicole Lapira, she's the holistic psychologist, and she's like, well, just repetition, repetition. And she's like, hold on, keep repeating it until your brain holds on to the possibility that someday in the future it might be true. And it still felt like I was just lying to myself a lot. Like, I love myself like your body rejects it, or
What
like
do
I'm
you love about
happy.
yourself though?
Yes, and so that's what I
What?
did is I started finding like the things that I do, and like I might not love everything about myself, but I can
Right,
find something that I
right.
like about myself.
Hmm.
And then another thing is like I'm allowed to be kind to myself even if I don't like myself right now.
Right.
And that was an act of love. And so I found that like finding things that are true and real, that I'm not lying about myself, and I can build those. Like I can let that grow and I can focus on those things instead of focusing on all the things that like I don't like.
Mm.
And then the other one for me that was super powerful was keeping promises to myself,
Mm.
because I sucked at that for a really long time. And I found that, I mean, in any relationship, like if somebody promises something to you and they don't come follow through with that, that hurts because we have like the expectation that they will. So if they're like, hey, I'll meet you tomorrow at lunch, and then they don't show up, well, we feel like we don't matter. And if you think about your relationship with yourself and you're like, I'm going to do this and this and this and this, and I'm going to have this perfect routine, and then I don't follow through with these things, it like damages that relationship inside. And so I found that in the same thing that Joelle said, I had to start small with promises to myself. And so it was like, I'm going to drink a glass of water every day. And I didn't do it. And then I was like, oh, I can't even drink a glass of water every day. And then I kept trying, and then that one became like easier. And then it was like, I'm going to do 1 minute of deep breathing every day, or I'm going to do at least one little physical thing every day. And then as I kept promises to myself, I found that like I was loving myself and trusting myself. Like the trust was there. And it's like really there now where I keep my word to myself. And I can say like really confidently that I really like myself. And that is something that was like not true at all for like the majority of my life.
Mm.
Like I always thought I was an underachiever and a failure and just kind of worthless. And I had a lot of mean, critical things to say. And I feel like every part of my life has been better, and my kids' lives and my relationship with my wife and everything. I'm like rambling now, but as I've like loved myself more. So anyway,
Oh,
start
I was
small,
just
like
gonna
Joelle
say,
said.
I was gonna say walk backwards while you do it.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
for
5 minutes a day.
neuroplasticity.
I've been doing it.
That's awesome.
And
Tyler,
like my body's feeling better. Everything is cool.
Mm.
that's
Yep,
way
change
cool.
takes change.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you, Tyler, to talk about keeping promises to yourself, and that's what I thought of, because Tyler taught me that. But then just like one quick thing, when he's talking about just like those little changes, if you're not going to believe lies that you're telling yourself, you know, if you hate yourself, you're not going to be like, yeah, I love myself. Like your body rejects it. But instead of doing a 180, do like a 30-degree, do a 50-degree turn, right? That's just something I repeat. Just maybe that helps you have an image of how to take those small steps. Okay, this is the ideal. I want to love myself. What is something I can tell myself that's like a 30-degree turn?
I love that. You guys, this is beautiful. Man, I wish we had more time. And I love Molly had a really cool thought, you know, in the last minute, if we have any thoughts, let's share this. But I would like to extend also on this thought, Molly, that next week's discussion might actually help with this as well. So she said, I'd love to hear some thoughts on when the pink clouds fade away, right? I find myself wanting to go back to the euphoric ease that I got to enjoy for a few weeks after the bridge, right? Who has felt this when the pink clouds fade away? Georgia knows. She's holding her heart, right? You guys, Georgia's here, and I love her. I'm so glad. Um, think about any quick thoughts in the last minute that maybe could just give Molly a little nibble. We do have Dave presenting next Wednesday, and I think he's going to kind of move into this alley a little bit. So please join us next week with Dr. Dave Oakton. Most of you like him quite a bit. So he will be joining us next Wednesday. Um, any thoughts before ooh, Leslie, what is the difference between I like you and I love you? When you like a flower, you just pluck it, but when you love a flower, you water it daily. Boom. Mic drop. Les, girl, I love it. I love it. You guys, beautiful.
I have
Monica,
one little comment
go
about what
for
you asked, Tanisha, and I don't know how possible it is or logistically what we can do about it, but everybody gets to know the people in their group really well.
Yeah.
And I think like there's a much larger community of people who have also experienced what you've experienced, and
Mhm.
they're often like in here. I just wish we could connect people more. Like I see people in here and I'm like, oh, those two people should know each other. Like if they knew their stories and they could, I bet they would have like a beautiful friendship. And I wish we could have like some of that somehow.
Yeah.
You could
Because
just
I think
tell us who.
Maybe we could do highlights.
I'm
we'll play
down.
We could
matchmaker.
highlight people. Right?
Yeah.
Like maybe we could do different highlights of different people when we hop on here, or something I can do behind the scenes too is see whose stories connect, and then we kind of start to raise some of those pieces when we're on the call. That's a great idea,
Could
Ty.
there be a Facebook group where we're all just thrown in the same bucket?
Sure.
That's
That's
a
a
good
good
idea.
idea.
You would have
Thanks.
to cut that out though, Molly.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll make a Bridge alumni Facebook
I
group
love it. I
and
love it.
I
That'd
can
be
post
great.
the link next week so that anyone who wants to join and you can send it to your Bridge groups.
That'd be
And
really cool
Gavin won't be part of it, but that's fine.
yeah,
Oh,
if
I
like
see.
before
You're
a
lost
panel we
cause.
had questions and like, hey, bring the topics. This is what we might talk about. And then people might get a little more excited to be joining the group. I think
I
that's a
love it, you guys. And
Great
this
idea,
has
That's
been
cool.
Tyler.
amazing. Let's let it keep growing too. Please let it keep growing. Please keep coming. This is the way we find rejuvenation, we find refreshment, is connecting with each other, sharing our stories, sharing our thoughts, our victories, our struggles, our despair. This is where we do it. Okay. I love you guys. Molly, get in touch with me, please. We'll get that going. Thank you for being awesome. Everyone, thank you for being awesome. My providers, I heart your faces, your souls, you're beautiful. I heart all of you. And we will see you next week, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time.
Love
Love
you
you.
all.
Thanks, everybody.
Hi, everyone.